Okay, today we are going to be talking non-fiction. We are going to be discussing my favourite non-fiction reads of 2021. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel every week and then movie reviews here at the weekend. In the description box below, you will find all of my social links, including my blog and my Goodreads, where I have already posted my top 10 non-fiction reads of 2021. And I have talked about a lot of these books here on the channel before. You will know I am a fan of listening to a non-fiction audiobook. And I will let you know if any of these I did outside of an audiobook, but just assume all of these highly recommended on audio. Let us jump right in. I listened to Broken by Jenny Lawson. Broken in the best possible way. Jenny Lawson is amazing, and if you've ever read any of her books, you will know that they are amazing on audiobook. I came to find her for the first time with one of the playaways from the library when I first moved to Denver, and so I've always read her books on audiobook. I have a full review of this one where I cross-stitch the cross-stitch that I got with this book, because I got a lovely review copy of this book. This is the UK cover. In that video I will show you the US cover because I had a finished copy and a proof copy of that one, and yeah, I will go into exactly why this book is so hilarious and so amazing in that video. Then we have a quick read for you, a 2021 quick reads, which is a quick reads version of one of my favourite books of all time. This is a quick reads version of How to Be a Woman by Moran, and yes, it is just £1, and yes, it is available on audiobook. I so enjoyed spending time with this one. I have a whole video talking about this year's quick reads books, so I will leave that linked up above and down below and wherever I can, because I adore quick reads. I think they're so amazing, and the fact that we have a Moran read in quick reads. If you can see just behind me here, I have More Than a Woman, the follow-up to How to Be a Woman, here on my shelf, and I was convinced that I'd read that this year and so it was going to be on my top 10 non-fiction, but I actually read it last year. That's how much it stuck with me. I feel like I just read it, but yeah, love that one, and yeah, it's just fantastic, and I highly recommend all the quick reads books, of course. Then we have one that I can so clearly picture where I was when I was listening to this one, because I listened to a lot of this one in the gym, which is very appropriate because this is Stronger by Poorna. It says changing everything I knew about women's strength, and so when I was lifting weights in the gym, she was there motivating me, and she does discuss her battle with long COVID. She does discuss her relationship with her parents, and she does discuss the fact that, you know, there is a stigma surrounding strong women and being told not to get too big and exercise being only for weight loss. And so I love the fact that she just kind of like breaks all those taboos and just breaks down the stigma surrounding those. I listened on audiobook. She is an excellent narrator. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it. If you can get the audio, but I mean, look at this cover. It would be amazing as a physical book as well, wouldn't it? Just love this one. Then one that kind of like just snuck up on me. I think I read this one. Did I read this one like a little while after it was released? So I don't even know if it's a 2021 release, but I listened on audiobook, and this one is Letters on Motherhood by Giovanna Fletcher, and it is read by the author. This one was quite a quick read. It's not the longest book in the world, and it is letters that she has written to various people in her life, mainly her children, but there are a couple of other letters included in there, and she explains why those other letters are included in there, and it literally just talks about motherhood. I am not a mother. I have no children, but I still really enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed listening to her write the letters, what she had to say in the letters, and the fact that she reads them out on audiobook. I listened to this in one sitting because I was just so taken with it. I just had her in my ears as I was going about my day, and it was just wonderful to hear what she had to say to her children, what she had to say about being a mother. It's open, it's honest, it's funny, it's sad, it's just everything you would expect it to be. And I love the fact that it's narrated by Giovanna Fletcher as well, because she, you know, she is an actress. She does a good job of narrating. Then one I listened to not alone. Amazing. Audiobooks are normally quite a solitary activity, but this one I listened to with Ollie, and this one is Eat a Peach by David Chang, and I picked this one up because it was recommended to me at a library book party. So this was recommended by a librarian who has recommended me other non-fiction reads. We seem to have a similar taste in non-fiction audiobooks. I know that they have a long commute and so listen to audiobooks in the car, but this one set me on a whole spiral of discovery for then watching Ugly Delicious, is that what it's called, on Netflix, and just diving into a whole David Chang world. Listened to this one on the long commute to go and get our COVID jabs as well, which was an interesting experience. Listening to this, and again, I can tell you exactly where I was when I was listening to it, which is really quite cool. But this is a memoir in part, and even if you don't know who David Chang is, which I didn't going into this book, I just had the recommendation of the book, I think you will enjoy this one. He talks about his family, he talks about his family that he has made, as well as his family that he has come from, and he does talk about his career and his sort of love-hate relationship with now being a media personality. It's an interesting one, and he does touch on the topic of COVID and the hospitality industry, which is interesting because he has definitely been affected by that, and so I am glad that he talked about it as well. Then we'll stick with the food theme because I also put on the list Taste by Stanley Tucci, My Life Through Food. This one was an unexpected addition to my non-fiction November reads. I did say that even though I did do this one on audio, it may be better as a physical book because it has recipes in it. However, you can't beat Stanley Tucci talking to you on your commute to work and telling you about his life. I was surprised, definitely, by parts of this book. He definitely does not hold back, and that includes the language that he uses. So just a little warning there, if you are sensitive to that kind of thing. I loved it. I was not sensitive to that kind of thing. But yeah, I really, really recommend this one. But I think that having a physical copy of it so you could actually make some of the recipes and enjoy some taste along with him would be good. So, you know, when you used to get that pack that had the book in as well as the tape, that's what we need with some of these. We need to be able to buy that chunky physical memoir and then get a little download copy code in there too with purchase, you know? I'm not saying it should be free. Then another sort of surprising one that snuck into my reading life in November. This is Hooked by Sutton Foster. I had watched Sutton Foster in younger, and she has narrated some of the audiobooks that I've listened to. She narrated the most recent Jennifer Weiner book, which I thought was interesting. And this is How Crafting Saved My Life. And she basically goes through her life and frames it in terms of the jobs that she had, but also the crafting activities that she took up at the time and how they helped her. Again, she is very open and honest, and even though she seems like this mega positive person in the shows that you see her in, she talks about the fact that she is playing a character and sort of the things that she is passionate about. And she goes fully into her relationships and her sort of whether her decisions about being a mother as well. And so I thought that was really, really interesting. Again, I sort of placed a hold on the library book and it just came and I was like, okay, we'll go with this one. But she's a very good narrator, and so I definitely recommend that one on audio. Then if you will remember much earlier on in the year, I did a little bit of a Mike Gayle readathon because there were some Mike Gayle books on my shelf that I wanted to part ways with, but I hadn't read yet. And so I did these are books, the Mike Gayle books that I haven't read, and now I've read everything by Mike Gayle, so that works. And this is The To-Do List by Mike Gayle, which is his only non-fiction. I think he may have done something with a non-fiction quick reads, but I have not access that. And so this is for anyone who has ever written a to-do list and then left it undone, and it's literally a numbered to-do list and the stories around how Mike Gayle did or didn't get it done. I listened on audio and it was excellent on audio. I think that that is the way to do this. It made me laugh, it made me think, and I felt like I got to know Gayle, the author, just a little bit more, even though it's not a memoir. But I really enjoyed it, and I think it's definitely an underrated non-fiction. And it's not a 2021 non-fiction release, obviously, but it's something that I enjoyed reading non-fiction wise in 2021. And then finally, 2 books that I do have physical copies of, but 2 books that I did listen to the audiobooks of. I have Women Don't Owe You Pretty by Florence Given. This one surprised me by the content that it has in it. I love this special edition. This is the small edition, and this is what the normal cover looks like. If you've seen my blog post, blog link below, you will have seen the regular cover because I put the picture of that in there. But you know, talks about sex and alcohol and sex and boundaries, and talks about her journey to realizing that she is queer. And yeah, it was a very quick read. It was basically a journey to work and back for me because the audiobook's just over 3 hours, and so I had a 45-minute commute. It worked out really well. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't overly preachy, but I definitely learned some stuff, and I definitely felt empowered by reading it. And this little beauty will be on my special shelf because it's a special exclusive edition. Speaking of special exclusive editions, this will come as no surprise that my final addition to the list is Windswept and Interesting by Billy Connolly, because this is a beautiful edition. The side is spined and the edges are sprayed, and it is just absolutely gloriously stunning. However, I was never not going to do this one on audiobook, because who doesn't want Billy Connolly telling them stories as they are driving along in his lovely Glaswegian accent, talking about Glasgow and talking about how he's found himself in the Florida Keys now, watching the manatees being all chill, and how he's windswept and interesting. I did not know that he started out life as a folk singer. I knew that he was a folk singer, but I didn't know that that's how he got his big break as a member of a folk band. And it's just, again, him telling you stories. He goes off on tangents, but 3 things that I really loved about this one. He doesn't hold back with his language at all. He just says it like it is. He talks so fondly about Glasgow and names real places in Glasgow, and I just love Glasgow so much. It was just such a treat. And then the 3rd thing, he gives everyone a full name. Everyone in this book has a full name. Relatives, everybody, they have full names. They're not just John. They are John Smith. They are, you know, it's not just my mum. She gets her whole name, and I just love that. I thought it was a real quirk of his. And I feel like he is not performing in this book. He's just sitting down and having a chat with you. It's a long book, but I feel like it's one of those where it's value for money long. It's not drawn out long. It's value for money long. It was good listening. Good listening in this one. But I do have the physical book because it is beautiful. And the physical book also has some pictures too. So I am glad I have a physical copy of this one, and it will also go on my special shelf because this is a very special book. So as always, please do let me know in comments what made your favourite non-fiction reads of the year, or if you're sort of trying to read more non-fiction in 2022, will you add any of these books to the list? Let me know. Do make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell, because I do have more bookish content coming your way very soon, as well as my regular movie reviews. We've got all sorts to talk about in 2022. Hopefully it should be a good year for books. I will be back with more bookish content for you very soon. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And yeah, I will see you with my next video. Thanks for watching.